frowns will perish. Okay, that's probably better. Use hardware. Sure, whatever. Pump this up a bit. Click, this one. Ooh, I love it. There we go. Ah, ocean blue. Let's see what I get for graphics. Aww. Be back in a sec, guys. Alright, again, I'm back. Skip. Yeah, loading is kind of annoying right there. So I kind of turned on my PSP and was playing. Yeah. Can't save. Good save, weird. They're bad at action games. They're enemies. Ah, crap. I guess recommended to most players. I'm not noob. I'm not expert. I say do normal. My story began in February year 2000. Ooh, 8 years ago.
For my part in this allegory, I'm not going to make the same mistakes my father made. Howard vanished from my mother's life before I was even in it, so when he sent me a letter a few days after Mum's funeral, it was the first I'd ever heard from him. Pity he was dead. Writing from beyond the grave must be a genetic habit in my bloodline.
Guess so.
His letter contained a key, instructions, pleas for forgiveness. I figured the dead don't have much use for absolution, so I turned to his prophetic passing, which he inexplicably expected to come any day. Clearly averse to explanations, my father preferred to leave directions to a bank on Mayfair I'd never even heard of. In that bank was a safety deposit box in his name, and myself as executor. Of course, I went, as he knew I would. I discovered that despite the evidence, he'd been legally declared dead almost 30 years ago, and so the old book and collection of notes I found had, in the eyes of the law, been mine all this time. My father's instructions were to burn the documents, raise no further questions. But that was his error. No man's immune to the shameful trappings of curiosity, and my humanity got the better of me.
Ooh.
The university I taught at was world-renowned for two things: physics and linguistics. I represented the first, and the man who stood for the second was stumped by my recent acquisition. The book was indecipherable. The notes, however, showed a location somewhere in uninhabited northern Greenland.
Ooh, it's gonna be cold there.
It took me almost a year to book the last flight I'd ever take.
Ooh, that's not good.
As I watched civilization disappear along with Heathrow, I realised my father had disappeared 3 decades ago, almost to the day. And I considered in turn what it was that I was leaving behind. We landed on a strip of ice a few feet wide, and within minutes I was pulling away on a chartered boat, beginning the 12-hour journey that would lead me into my past.
Yeah, these are the dreadful loading screens. Oh, that wasn't dreadful at all. Cutscene. Finally, we're almost docked. I better stow my gear. I may be far from home, but chances are I can still pick up things using left mouse. And I can take a closer look at things by using right mouse. Okay. Okay, a tip. I'm like a frightened girl. I don't like horror games, so I'm not sure why I'm playing. But, yeah. Oh. Sweet. Dude. Sweet. So apparently this is supposed to be kind of scary and such. I'm a little girl. I'm certain this map's a good decade or so out of date, but landmarks don't change much in Greenland, so I've got a pretty decent idea of where I'm headed. My environment's not bad, it looks pretty nice. It's whiskey. Whiskey, empty shame. Good scientist always keeps a pen and paper handy, just in case. Alright. N for information, P for reminders. Notes. Okay. I think I left my torch in the desk drawer next to the bed. It can be opened using my left mouse on it. Holding the button out with the mouse. Nice. Sweet. Use the torch. I think it's a flashlight, isn't it? Or where's your flashlight? Okay. Bruised Eric, just a quick note before you set sail and leave me once again. I've left you a little something to remember me by in the chest at the foot of your bed. I really don't know why you still only have one bed on board. Taking shifts because of it is no way to get your rest. But what does a fisherman's wife know of life at sea? I'll be praying every night for you to make the catch you need, so that you can come home to me safely and soon. Please don't be gone for 5 weeks like last time. I know I might nag sometimes, but I do love you, you know. I've washed those overalls of yours. I know you'll get them covered in those sort of fish parts in no time, but I still feel better knowing that they've had a wash. Before I forget, the Henriksons in the village have asked me to see if you're coming by any trout, but I said they are mostly out of season. If you do happen upon any, don't say anything. Stow them well in ice, and I'll do something special with them to celebrate when you come home to me. The ship's captain deserves a little special treatment once in a while. Take care, my love. Get off. Fisherman's wife's love letter. Always travel with a padlock and a key, preferably mine's in the door and tab.